All right, we're gonna do some ult event stuff. I got this start waves button, and I have trigger events 3D. So every trigger events 3D needs a box collider, and he wants to, well, it doesn't have to be in the trigger layer, but in this case, we want to make sure it's a trigger, because it is in fact being used as a trigger. Could be a solid object as well that you could just touch and trigger something, but anyway. So this button comes down, touches this. It actually has a separate trigger inside to touch it. Um, but anyway, once this goes down, it'll cause trigger events enter. So when the two triggers touch, trigger events enter starts, all of these events happen. So we'll get into that in a second, but all you got to know is these two things touch, trigger events enter happens. If it stays there, which I never ever use this, very bad for performance. Don't ever use trigger stay and events unless I don't know. I don't think of a good reason to use this. I've never used it. But they're still touching. This will continuously happen, whatever is in here. So next is exit. Once they exit, something will happen. So that's when we're gonna make a lot of different things happen here. So a couple things to know about ult events is okay, so here's the events themselves. There's a couple different types. We got the 3D trigger event. Like I said, you need a box collider. So when these two things touch, you got enter, exit. I just explained that one. We got delay, or sorry, let's just do regular first. Ult event holder. Pretty much, you just the events themselves. So like if I did trigger event exit, will invoke this event holder. So right here, won't really do this. We could do it right here though. I dragged this trigger into here, which is the object we happen to be on right now. So ult event holder invoke. So now when we exit the trigger button, it's going to invoke whatever happens here. So if I put another event here, such as let's set this game object. Oops, here's the one we're going to use a lot, set active. And let's keep it off. So when we press it, this will be deactivated. And all of its children will be deactivated as well. So this fizzle field here will be deactivated. And this door will be open. So we press the button, the door opens. So that's kind of cool there. Let's see. So we're back here. But I'm not, that's a little overly complicated. We don't need to do an ult event. There is also a delayed ult event holder. So if I were to do that same thing, let's set a delay of say 4 seconds. So, okay, if I invoked that delayed event holder, whatever happens in that event right there is going to take 4 seconds before it actually happens. It gets invoked immediately. So that means if this object were to be disabled after the fact or during this 4 seconds, it's still going to happen when the 4 seconds are up. So that's important to know. So if I were to invoke, let's say, a delayed ult event holder for this object right here. Let's say I just did that. I invoked a delayed ult event holder for my base stand on. Well, as you can see, the object itself is turned off. So the event is not going to fire at all. Not even when I turn it back on. If I turn it on, fire the event, and then turn it off, and then even though it's turned off immediately, it's still going to happen with that delayed event. So that's what that's used for. One more important one. Oops, that wasn't supposed to happen. Oh, no. We don't want Visual Studio to open. That was not supposed to happen. I've never seen that happen. Close. No, close. Go away. Anyway. Okay. Right here, this one I want to activates. This guy deactivates, this guy activates when I exit. That's what I want to happen. Oops. Okay. Sorry. One more event is lifecycle. lifecycle events. So if this object is enabled, if I invoke something, let's say click this on, then I can make something else happen. So as soon as this is enabled, let's do something different here so you can see that there's other stuff. So not only can I disable the actual, I could disable, let's say, just the box collider. So this guy's turned on. Even though he's turned on, his box collider is going to be turned off. Cool. So whenever he's turned on, his box collider gets turned off. And then maybe you could turn it on with something else later. That could be a use case for it. Anyways, those are all the events and how they work. In this particular case, what I'm trying to do, when the button is pressed, a couple things happen. First of all, these two meshes that you see right here will become, you won't be able to see them. The colliders will still be there. And then these two do not have colliders. They look exactly like this, but they have their lights on. So basically, you press the button, it looks like there's some lights that turn on for the button. And then when you exit, you will basically start a chain reaction of waves. And this will disable the doors I was telling you about. This will enable, in my case, some NPCs for me to fight. That's really all I need to do. Also, let's do another thing here. So as well, when I exit, we can do, so not only can we disable, but we can destroy. So if I don't need this anymore at all, I'm just going to destroy the entire, destroy the entire thing. Start waves, destroy. So once I press the trigger and start the waves, there's no turning back. It's gonna destroy the button, and fight's going. There's no stopping it after that. So pretty much that's just how that works. That's all there is. There's a lot of different things in here in the ult events. There's a lot of different things that you can mess with. It all is going to depend on the components. So real quick, I'll show you, some other stuff I'm working with here. Like this guy's got all types of stuff, an audio source here. So I can play, void play. I could void pause. I could do all types of stuff with the audio. There's animations, like this thing right here is a spinning disc. So I could make the disc start spinning. I can make the disc stop spinning. All types of things that you can do with ult events, but that's just a basic guide right here. And basically I just made this button setup, so that way when I press the button, my waves will start. And that's about it